Rio. My name is Lovely Mardellis. Alana is not here with us, unfortunately, but I have Lawrence, and today is going to be a fun episode. This is a real quick. We'll call it a quickie for the stasis of it. Lawrence is like, Lovely, are you sure you want to call it that? He gave me that look.
I did. Yeah, I did that. This is the kind of
Lawrence is
stuff
like-
that don't go well on social media. Well, I guess it's fine.
It's one of those things that it's a thin line, but it's one of our shorts. Let's call it shorts. Yeah, we'll make it. See, shorts.
Yeah,
we'll call them shorts. So today's episode is called "Let's See Who's Attacking Lawrence Now," or did Lawrence attack them first? We'll see. Because I haven't.
Did I attack them first?
Yeah, did he attack them first?
Hey, go. I guess go to my personal IG if you want to. So it's GQ_accountant. So it's different from my, I guess the neighborhood finance guy IG. And ultimately, I guess there's one person that really commented, and you probably see her. It's like, I'm not gonna say her name on here, but
yeah, we're not gonna put you out.
Yeah. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. And
if you're listening, it's all good. It's all good.
No, that's all good. It's all good. But ultimately, it's a short conversation about some people just, when I post something, they get into their feelings, they get into that zone, and they try to, clap at me, but they forget that I'm Miami-Dade, 305 strong. Like we were brought up on nothing more than roasting people, like to the point where you had to come to violence. So like that's my level of roast. I roast people to come to violence. They don't go into like I do like one or two jabs, and then I just go for one nasty hit. And it's like, at this point, it's just a blood feud or something. But I have a lot of good time on there. People always think I guess emotionally, but my wife would tell you I sleep at night very comfortably. I get a lot of good REM. Like I do not think about y'all at all. I just kind of have a good time with what I do. So ultimately today, the post that I posted this morning was rich people buy luxuries last, while the poor and middle class buy luxuries first. And as such, it's merely a transformational knowledge, which I shared with the audience, is the idea that rich people themselves, they value creating some level of a product, assets, and income that generates more money for them than eventually get to the point in which they buy the stuff that they want. It's not something that you see, like I guess from our perspective, especially if you're not rich, you don't really see the asset creation. You literally just see the spending. And poor people, and variously on the other side, we spend what we need to spend, yes, but then we just go into the luxury stuff because that's what we see as well. But we don't see the work to really transform that. So one of the ladies, she posted, and her post to say, and she used a lot of exclamation marks. So that's when she's serious. I don't know if she went to all caps yet, but her thing was luxury for people look different per person, exclamation mark. This up there is not true, exclamation mark. Rich people buy luxuries at any given time, and poor people too, though they are limited in what luxuries they buy. Poor people cannot buy a $30 million home, exclamation mark. I told you, you sick son of a bee, you psychopath. Like I'll get to you. What do you think before I kind of give my thoughts?
I'm gonna give my thoughts here because I'm reading it fresh. I didn't even see this before, so that's really good. My raw thoughts is the statement that was made in the picture, the caption is very much true. They understand that they're compounding interest, they're compounding investments, like that comes at priority number one. And what she's saying is pretty much saying luxury for people look different per person, right? So depending on what she's pretty much saying, there's context to luxury, which is true.
Yeah, that's facts. It's facts. It's facts. I'm like, what? Continue.
But when it said this up there is not true, it's like, wait a minute, that is true. Because if you just go research and you just talk to people that build massive wealth, there was a time in their life that they were very scarce. They held really, really tight to it so that they can massively invest, massively do these things, and then eventually scale up to luxury. For her to say that it's not true, she's going to get a -1 on her assignment, okay? She's going to get some minus points.
Like she did not understand the subject.
She did not understand context because let's read it again just for the audience's sake. Rich people buy luxuries last while the poor and middle class buy luxuries first. All he's pretty much saying is priority. We need to start thinking about just taking the context of the conversation is that they put those things in their back end. Their quote unquote FU money is after they've invested, after they've put these things forward, and they're in the position to get wealth to buy things whenever they want. what he's pretty much saying is a lot of times we do not prioritize investments. We do not prioritize the things that are going to bring us wealth in the long term. And we might buy luxuries first. But I think what she's probably thinking about is she's thinking about it in a literal context. Like when she means laughing.
But she's thinking like a poor
not,
person though. But she's thinking like a poor
like,
person. She's not that. She doesn't know that many rich people. That's one thing. Wow. Like I know rich people, you know, like when I run into rich people, real rich people, they operate, think different, act different. And when I remember one lady, I'm not gonna say who she is because I remember one lady, she's like, hey, my mom, because she was an older lady too. My mom, you know, we wanted to celebrate my 50th birthday, so we went to the Alps, and my mom paid for it or something like that. Like everything was paid for and whatnot. They live differently. She's a rich person making over 200 stacks per year as a single person, not even counting her husband. But yet her parents bought them like a 2-week stay at the Alps. You know, I'm like, I don't think you understand what the Alps are. You don't live like this. You don't just buy yourself, your kids, and family and friends. Her aunts were there. They showed me pictures. These are rich past people. Why? Because they're on a foundation of wealth. So therefore they spend differently. And what you interpret as them spending lavishly on a yacht or something like that, for them is nothing in comparison to the true wealth that they have. Like, for example, Jeff Bezos decides to go to outer space and spends $1 billion. He has $1 trillion. Two different scenarios here. For him, it's not the same amount of money. Yes, luxuries is the same. Luxuries are different for different people. But if you are of a poor mindset, you don't know how to create wealth to begin with, to set yourself up in a position in which that wealth buys you the stuff that you need. For example, in my caption underneath, when I actually write it all out, the idea is, right? Person A, a lot of people, generally majority of people in the world, 90%, they go to work, they trade their time for money, and then that money they buy the stuff they need or want. Whatever it is, they just go directly to that source, and then they go back to work to trade more time to get more money so they could do it all over again. A person that is richer understands this game that we're playing. They go to work, for example, maybe they work for themselves, maybe they just go to work, whatever it is, but they invest. They take the difference, they spend on what they need, being their living expenses, your housing, your transportation, your food, so on and so forth. They spend it on what they need. They then take the remainder, the investable point, the opportunity cost, they use that to invest it into wealth machines that create themselves a little bit more assets, a little bit more wealth. So in turn, later on, that extra money start buying the extra stuff that they want, the luxury items. They think and move differently throughout the process of the flow of money. So therefore, a lot of poor people end up spending their entirety of their lives, which is, that's why I said the lifespan is not just the money. You trade your time, which is your lifespan, for money to buy stuff, and you go right back and do it all over again. Versus other people aren't doing that, you know, as direct as you might perceive it to be. No, man, I got real deep.
Real deep, but I think
deeper than what she understands. I don't think she's that smart, but deeper.
I'm like, yeah, see, right? Deep. Well, you guys hear.
You can't see. I'm like pointing my skull, yeah, my temple.
His skull.
Think. Open your third eye. I know you smell a lot of candle wicks out here. What the candle stuff you have? Like, for breeze. I know you got to open the window, right? You know, hey, I know you clean the bathroom and the Clorox is getting to you, but open the window, please. Let it air out, right? Take a deep breath and start thinking transformationally, because I'm not against you. Nobody's trying to say I didn't help you make your money. So I'm not gonna give you ideas of how to spend it. Spend it however you damn want to. If you want to go spending on all the luxuries, go ahead. You will be broke for the rest of your life. You're gonna keep working. That's on you, but I'm trying to retire early.
I think I'm just still laughing at the comment.
Like, now I'm going against her directly. I'm like, it's personal.
Like, if you're listening to this, Lawrence means it, but he doesn't mean it. If you understand, he means it.
I mean it. I'm looking at her name right now, and I'm burning through it. I hope she understands.
What? Let me clean it up for you guys, because I'm gonna clean it up. Essentially, the people that learn how to build wealth, luxury becomes their standard. And whatever, quote unquote, let me give you that. Luxury looks different. Luxury can be defined. The people that do create wealth, luxury becomes their standard. They're not eating subpar food. They're not having subpar experiences. I'm going to bring into this one last final thought. When we were talking about wealth, and maybe 2-3 years ago, I don't know how this conversation came about, but instead of getting 10 cheap meals throughout the week, maybe you actually save the 150, 200, and you have one amazing experience. You have a chef, whatever it may be. It's giving your money more bandwidth. I think a lot of times we're spending so frivolously that when it is time for us to have, quote unquote, a luxury experience, to have an experience that's worthwhile, we often cannot, because we're passively spending dollars on things that don't make sense. And that's why we don't have sense. I'm just laughing because I was really deep.
Yeah, if you're really reading her explanation more, she was so mad because she's 100% in her mind perceived that, hey, I just want to go spend money. You're not gonna stop me. And I'm looking at her like, I ain't stopping you. Please,
no, you can spend your luxuries.
Oh no, I love them because that's the way that the economy works, and it therefore makes, hey, the S&P goes up, the Dow goes up, my investments go up, and I can be happy. Yeah, I'm happier for it. So when people are mad at me about, I guess, capitalism or spending or whatever, I want you to spend your money, because the difference between those who spend their money and those who kind of invest, that's what they categorize as rich and poor. So the poorer you are, the richer I am. So do you, if you want to spend that money on luxuries. But
what he's saying is lock in on the spend, because guess what? We are looking at the stock portfolio and we are.
I'm looking at the rest of. I'm like, go ahead, girl. Don't let him talk to you. Explanation mark. You right. And some of the girls sitting in the corner like, he can't tell us what to do. I'm gonna go to brunch. I'm like, all right, girl, do you. But so that's the short. Like, man, toxic, man. One day they're gonna be like, cancel this guy, cancel everything he does.
Podcasts don't make it anywhere. Just know it's because of Lauren's commentary, okay?
Yeah, probably. Like, burn that guy at the stake.
But I hope you guys enjoy it. Go ahead. You kind of broke. No,
go ahead. We can wrap it up. I said my part.
I just wanted to let you guys know we'll be doing these more often because I find them super funny. The next shorts will be maybe on the real estate home buying one, because that one had those were a bunch of comments.
Vicious. I be waking up. I choose violence.
Every time. He really chooses violence every single time.
Let's go.
The time. The Kevin Samuels of financial literacy, just like all the time.
It said, "Oh, you want to spend your money? It's wrong. The people are against you." Yeah, you right, victim. Like, victim mentality, a poor person mindset. Go ahead.
We'll wrap it up. We're really gonna wrap it up. Like, at the end of the day, guys, you can spend your money how you choose to, but understand there are dichotomies out there, right? It's not always or, it can be and. You can spend money and invest. But if you're only doing, if you're pushing your side on one side of more spending than investing, in 25 years, come back to this podcast and let us know if we're still even.
If I'm wrong, if I'm 20 years from now, she comes around and says, "Hey, Lawrence, I live my life and I'm rich," in your face, I'm like, you know what? You're right. But don't let me catch you 20 years from now and you broke. I'm gonna be laughing the hell out of you. I am petty. I'm a petty dude. I even probably throw money at you, like, in your face. Where's your luxuries at?
Where are your luxuries now?
All right, God's gonna punish me for that. I'm gonna pull back from that. I'm gonna pull back.
Finding conviction at this moment, guys. Okay?
Yeah, God is like, I'm gonna stop blessing this guy. He's changing.
He's changing the narrative. He's like, I gotta pull him back, gotta humble him again.
I gotta humble him again. Like, I don't want to be humbled. I'm good.
Good. I'll come down myself.
I'll help somebody else today. I promise.
Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was a real fun, real short, which is why we call them shorts. Just make sure that if you're commenting on what is it, GQ_accountant, you may be featured on the Financial Griot podcast.
Oh, no, if you attack me at any point, anywhere, just know I always clap back. I don't know why. It's a clap back nature of me, man. It's trade 305.
It's a 305 Miami behavior.
305. They told you clap back to blood. Now let's get it.
Just all here roasting people. But anyways, enjoy your luxuries, but be safe out there in the
Mm-hmm.
meantime. And you can find us online at Lovely Merdelis. Lawrence, where can they find you?
You can find me at theneighborhoodfinanceguy.com or the Neighborhood Finance Guy on IG. Either way, you can also find us sometimes on Clubhouse, and this is what we're going to wrap up to kind of jump into.
Yeah, we're about
Clubhouse conversation every Saturday on accountability. And you could even ask us questions about how we shift around wealth. That's a hack. Get free information from us if you want to.
If you want to.
We can't force you to.
We're not recapping the room. We are not recapping.
You're like, hey,
so
and
join
with
at
that
your own
said,
risk.
And with that said, I am complete. Watch the other episode, you'll get it. Peace.
For real. Bye.
Bye.
No.
Thank you for listening to the Financial Griot podcast, powered by the Wealth Builders Collective.